this is Leonie. Today I would like to show you an altered configuration box. I know, again. And this is an MDF configuration box. It comes in a small flat package and you have to put it together yourself, but it's very easy. And I will insert some pictures now. So I used a Prima Lyric paper collection to alter this configuration box, and I really love this paper line. It's my first project using this gorgeous paper line, and I think it's my new favorite. I will show you the outside first. I used the Prima clock face mask and some modeling paste, and I adhered the papers all the way around. I even took some small strips of paper to adhere it to the box, and of course I decorated the back side as well, like this, and I created a little pocket so I can insert some tags or a personal message. And I used my Martha Stewart punch to create this edge. I used some domino pieces as feet. I was inspired for this idea by Lydia, who is I Triple Dog Dare You here on YouTube. And I adhered two pieces together, and I adhered a strip of the paper around the feet. And here's the other side, and I did some more masking, and I created a little charm with some beads from my stash and a little spool with some lace around, and I adhered the charm to this key, and I glued this key down with my E6000 that was given to me by Claudia. Thank you so much, Claudia. She's the Krabby Crafter here on YouTube. And let's see. I'm sorry, I had to adjust my camera a bit because I couldn't show the top side to you properly. So I hope it's better now. I have a small box here and some fabric flowers from my stash. Here's a flower from my stash that I sprayed with homemade glimmer mist. And I went over everything with snow tags. And here's another flower from my stash. And here's a corked vial, and I fussy cut this from the paper collection. And here I have a bobbin and some pearls and another flower from my stash and a tiny clothespin, and here's a spool and some more fabric flowers. And here's a big homemade rose, and let me see, I used this die to create the big pink roses, and it's this particular one here. So, and let me see, I have some, oh, I hope yeah, it focuses. I have a flourish here, and I have one down here as well with another homemade rose. And for the flourishes I use this die, the Vintage Borders die by Noor Design, and it's, I'm sorry for the glare, it's this one here. I'm sorry for my hands, I just finished this project. So let's see, here I have some beautiful lace that was given to me by Annie, Miss Garden Grove 1. Thank you so much, Annie. And I have some flat back pearl trim from my stash. And this little guy was a pain in the butt. I tried to create a 3D birdcage, and I managed to do it, but it took a lot of time. And I was inspired for this by Steph, who is Brown Baby Craftaholic here on YouTube. She created a larger version of it, and I thought it would be nice to create a small one and use it in my configuration box. And on top of that I have 2 small roses from my stash, and I used some Spanish moss here at the bottom of this compartment. Here I have another homemade rose, and this is a fabric flower from my stash, and this one as well. And here I have a Melissa Francis resin piece, and I went over it with gesso and snow tacks. And here in the background there's another homemade rose, and here I have an altered domino piece. And here's a little, oops, I'm sorry. Here's a little alarm clock. I took it apart and I adhered the clock from the paper collection. It was perfect for this alarm clock. So I altered my first alarm clock, but a very small one. And I placed some roses and some pearls inside. So, and I went over it with gesso and some homemade glimmer mist, a pink one and a pearl one and a black glimmer mist. So I had a lot of fun altering this. And if you want to see a bigger version of an altered alarm clock, you definitely have to check out Miranda's channel, Miss Liberty 25. But I'm sure you all already know her. And here's a pink rose from my stash and another fabric flower. And I adhered some rosette trim at the bottom of this compartment, but most of it got covered up. And here's my all-time favorite spoon again. And a piece of ruler here. And this is a cameo that I created myself. I hope it shows up. And I recently purchased this mold. Oops. And it's a wonderful mold. I purchased this one in a shop that has all kinds of supplies for cupcakes, and I really had a lot of fun creating my first cameos. I don't know which brand it is, it just came in this little bag, and I hope my camera will focus. I'm sorry for the glare. And here's the item number in case you would like to purchase it, but I don't know the brand, I'm sorry. But it's a wonderful mold. And let me see, here I have a flower from my stash, and this is an old telephone and a fabric flower. And here's another fabric flower that I colored myself with my homemade glimmer mist. And here's another rose from my stash, and I used some Spanish moss again. And let me see, here's another homemade rose and some more homemade roses in the background. And I found this birch at a local store. It already had the pearls in his tail, so I created some sort of a nest for him with Spanish moss. And here I have a little frame. It was shiny silver, and I went over it with black acrylic paint and gesso. And I love this sentiment, remembering these special moments, and I fussy cut it from the paper line. And here I have a chess piece. It's a wooden chess piece, and another homemade rose and a flower from my stash, and the other flourish here. And I created my own box pleated trim, and this is some black flat back pearl trim from my stash. So this is my configuration box. I had a lot of fun creating this. It's a guest design project for Let's Get Busy. They sell all kinds of MDF products, mini albums and photo frames, clocks, and well, I had a lot of fun altering this one and putting it together. So yeah, I hope you like it, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.